continue. Okay, sorry about that. So title of the presentation is It Takes a Village, University Partnerships for Student Career Success. And after years of waiting for students to take initiative on their career development, restructuring of academic and career engagement led to a university-wide initiative to progress students along a desirable academic and career life cycle. The university's college leadership and faculty, ground operations, and student support services banded together in a push to progress all students successfully through college with tangible industry or work-related experiences to help set them up for success. So excited to hear a little bit more about this program in the presentation. And so Merritt, I'm going to turn the time over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate it. And welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for stopping in yet another Zoom meeting. We appreciate it. So we are really excited to share with you some of the focus on partnerships that we have had over the last maybe 12 to 16 or 18 months. Really basically conducting an overhaul of our career services, our student career development, and our employer engagement. We're really just excited to share with you what we've been working on in the hopes that it might spark some additional ideas, some additional conversation, and an effort to really try and help us all become a little bit better in how we service our students and our employers. So today we'll be talking a little bit about how we have transitioned from basically a reactive career services offering to much more of a proactive approach, and really taking it from a silo in terms of it being the career services department's responsibility to promote its services and to help make sure students are developing toward their desired careers and engaging with employers, to a true university-wide initiative with a lot of partnerships and buy-in with other departments and colleges across campus. And we're going to talk a little bit about what that university collaboration looks like. Of course, we'll touch a little bit on our pivot due to COVID-19, and then we'll talk about some next steps, a little bit of a conclusion, and then of course some time for Q&A. So in order to give you a little bit of an historical approach, some history to how we were that traditional career services department a few years ago, working toward our goals now. So I'll turn it over to Aisha in SEI, which you'll learn about in just a second, to talk a little bit about the historical approach, and then I'll come back and talk about how we are moving forward now.
Thanks so much, Merritt. Good morning, everyone. Maybe good morning again if you were in our first session. Thank you so much for participating with us today. As Merritt said, my name is Aisha, and I've actually been here with GCU now about 7.5 years, so quite a while. Historically, we had a traditional, I don't want to say traditional, but our career services model was that we had our career services office, and we were, kind of a small group on campus, hidden, so to speak, but we were reactive in that, we provided services when students reached out to us. We provided events when colleges reached out to us and said, we'd like to maybe do a career fair and partner with our career services office. So that's really how we went about providing services to our students and the university overall. About 2 years ago, not even quite 2 years ago now, a little under 2 years, we changed our entire model. And we really wanted to start looking at having a career culture for GCU overall, which Merritt will talk about a little bit more, because the only thing that we really did to build culture within the university was our annual career week. That was always happen around late February, early March. And that was our one staple throughout the year. That was the one time where we advertised career resources to students. We didn't have marketing campaigns on a regular basis, letting students know what was available. Again, we were just there if we were requested. We had one large career fair, and it was very big. We usually had anywhere from 200 to 300 employers, a lot of students showing up. Unfortunately, we were not able to track as much data and outcomes as we would like to do. So we've really, like I said, and Merritt's going to talk about, moved to this approach where everyone is involved and everyone, is a stakeholder in the career outcomes of our students. Again, we were siloed, we were individualized. We didn't we didn't continually connect with the colleges and make sure that other university stakeholders were aware, of why career services was important, on an ongoing basis for students. So again, that was our historical approach. And then about a little less than 2 years ago, we completely revolutionized and changed that model here for our university. And I'll turn it back over to Merritt.
Awesome. Thank you, Aisha. So it's super fun to be here, especially with Aisha now, because we've actually had a fairly similar career trajectory here at GCU. We both started in online enrollment and then actually entered the career services department about 6 months apart from each other. So we were there together as career advisors in that historical approach that Aisha just outlined for you. And so it's really, really fulfilling and energizing and exciting for both of us now to see where we're headed. And so now we're really taking a look at separating out both the career development side for students, that student-facing entity, from that employer engagement entity, so we can really focus on what we're good at on both sides. And then we work together really collaboratively. Aisha and I meet regularly to make sure we're both on the same page. So we're both focusing on what we're good at and then coming together consistently to make sure we're both developing and preparing our students adequately, and then making sure that the employers who are seeking our talent are getting connected with the right students. So really excited about that and the way we work together. But then on a larger scale, with the help of university leadership, we've really taken a look at how can we make sure we are implementing and incorporating not just academic success into our students' life cycle, but also career development and career success into our students' life cycle. So in a little bit, Haley is going to talk about what we call the academic and career life cycle, which was formed out of a committee and has now actually transitioned into a larger committee. So she'll talk about that in just a minute. But then we'll also cover today how we're collaborating with various departments, really how we've all gotten all these different key stakeholders across campus really committed and bought into this university-wide initiative by trying to make sure we're tying these programs our students are in to their future careers, and how can we make sure we're helping them take the appropriate steps throughout their time at GCU, so by the time they reach graduation, they either have some kind of documented, relevant work, internship, volunteer experience, research, whatever it might be, under their belt, and or they've already secured some kind of employment by the time they graduate. So that's really our goal, and it's everybody's goal at GCU, across the university, across departments, and we're really excited about where this is going. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over, just a second, got a little excited. So I'm going to have Haley talk about that academic and career life cycle in one more slide, but wanted to talk with you about some of the people we actually have on this call with us. So Haley's going to speak next. We'll talk a little bit then about the college collaboration, the SEI team. So again, ACE, my side, is on the student-facing side. SEI is on the employer engagement side. Some of the student support services we are partnering with to make sure this message is getting consistently pushed across to students. And then we actually have a few campus partnerships and spotlights for you, where we've actually invited some people in who are assisting us with this messaging to students. And they're going to share just a little bit with you about how they're helping us push this message out to students as well. So with that, I will hand it over to Haley.
Thank you, Mary. Good morning, everybody. I'm Haley Fogerly, and as stated before, the Executive Director for our Strategic Employer Initiatives and Internships Group. And really, I've had the great honor and privilege to work with all of these team members who are on the meeting today. But I've been at the university for about 15 years. And so part of that, 7 years I was faculty, and part of that excitement and motivation to help students, was participating in mentoring and building programs to really help to ensure that students felt that they had a pathway and they were going to be successful at the end. So I'm excited that the most exciting point that I've been able to be a part of is to today's conversation of this academic and career life cycle, that we had the leadership from our president, our provost, our deans, our support to really start this initiative about 2 years ago, as creating new departments and thinking differently about how we could approach working together and collaborating together. And what's so great about being at GCU is that, all of us really, even though we bring our individual experiences and interest and passion, really have come together to just circle around the students to make sure that they're successful. So all of that deans at the table to really share, what their students need and want from all the different departments and how we can work better. And that committee was formed with the key stakeholders, as I mentioned, with the leadership team, but also faculty. They're a huge part in us connecting with students and ensuring that they feel supported, and all of our support departments really came together through this committee to come up with how do we best work together, engage together to have a unified voice, programming, and offering to support so students can really understand and feel how they have the resources and departments to service them in the way that they need. Obviously, they come to the institution seeking a degree, and our goal is to make sure that they understand their purpose in that degree and where it's going to lead them in their future. And so out of this committee, we were able to establish this academic and career life cycle, because it is a parallel journey that they go on in taking classes and working with their faculty members and getting inspired about what industry or work that they want to do for their future. And then we want to make sure that we come and wrap around opportunities and programs for them to really get even more inspired and connected with career experiences that will hopefully cement it for them where they want to go. And through this committee, we worked as a group to really establish how and what each department, each stakeholder would be able to do through different class levels of students, whether they're freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, and how all of these different departments would support and aid in what our goal is for that outcome for those students. And so we were able to design this life cycle and share it with the different key stakeholders to make sure that they were informed and obviously felt supported and are able to make our students aware of how we all are rallying together to really come alongside the students and support. So this committee was huge. Our emphasis was all on student success and how we could take part in that and work together and collaborating with colleges, faculty, student support services, and building that culture for students to really understand how we're there to help them achieve their goals. And so it also formulated metrics and measures of things that we could, at time points within the cycle, look at of how we are performing as a university, but also how we are ensuring that students are getting to reach the goals that they had for themselves. So really part of this design of the academic and career life cycle really just identified and made a focal point for us to be united in our approach and messaging to students to build that culture for them to achieve the goals. So I have had a great honor to be a part of this, and just excited about the opportunities that now everybody can leverage as we continue to engage faculty. We have library resources and services, and all of the different ground operations, as well as the academic and career excellence team to support students in the ways that they can achieve their goals. So thank you, and hopefully that you will continue to learn more from the spotlights and how everybody is able to come together to really support the students in achieving their goals. Turn it back over to you.
Awesome, thank you, Haley. I know there is a black box showing up on your screen, so I apologize for that. I don't see it on mine, so I'm not entirely sure how to fix it, but I think it might have been the chat box, which I just moved, so I apologize for that. But if you need us to try and redo anything, please feel free to let us know.
You are good to go. It is now gone. Thank you.
Oh, yes, I think it was the chat box. Okay, great. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate it. So with this slide, I'm actually going to turn this back over to Aisha.
And I'll make this quick, just so that everybody understands, Strategic Employer Initiatives and Internships, SEI, is the department that we work for. Our internal division, where I am kind of focused, is on our employer relations and recruitment services. And we all report up on my side through Haley. So she is the visionary behind a lot of what we've been able to develop these last couple of years. So one of the big pieces that we handle with SEI is the collaboration with the colleges. So as Haley mentioned, we're connecting with the deans, the faculty, we're providing career monitoring for our eligible graduates. So we're collecting that information from the colleges, from students themselves. We're partnering with the colleges on career fairs and information sessions. We support the letter of recommendation process for students. We have the opportunity to bring in high-level speakers for students so they can, be encouraged, motivated, learn more about various industries, and we call that our Provost Speaker Series. We also are connecting with colleges to let them know about industry trends, and we're learning from them too, because a lot of faculty are still really connected with the field. So we learn about that information from them, and then what we collect and understand, we're providing that information so that there's a consistent dialogue in regards to employers. We also partner with our colleges on advisory boards. So we have, individuals within industries at, high levels in their fields that are connecting with our colleges and keeping our colleges apprised of what's going on in industry, and they're speaking into curriculum, all of these pieces, and getting involved so that our students are that much better prepared when they graduate. We have employers, and we connect with colleges to get employers connected for capstone showcases, to have industry guests within the classroom, as well as specialized committees, that Haley's already spoken about. We collaborate in that matter as well with the colleges. We also, in regards to employers directly, we're getting them involved with our Simplicity system, which we call Career Connections, making sure they're a part, of our employer network. We're identifying those employers, we call them LOPES leaders, who are extremely involved in GCU, who are, we know that they're going to be at a lot of our career fairs, our information sessions, engage with our colleges, etc. We are also working with employers on company tours. Again, we talked about capstone showcases, strategic internships, as well as volunteer programs, and specialized partnerships such as Disney, Canyon Ventures, things along that lines. So I'll turn it back over to Merritt.
Awesome. Thank you, Aisha. So moving forward, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what we're doing in terms of our student support services and our collaboration with a few different departments on campus. But ACE, or Academic and Career Excellence, is my department. So ACE and SEI are really the two who are working together, as we've discussed so far, but wanted to outline for you what that involves on our side. So we have ACE advisors, which a lot of universities might call career advisors, career counselors, career coaches, that kind of thing. Then we have career leads. So I have both academic and career support under my purview. So we have something we call leads, which are basically learning advocates, or leads for short. And so we really, the department started with academic leads first. So these are basically peer-to-peer tutors. And then we've since expanded that. So now we have career leads. So these are students providing support to their peers on basic resume reviews, very similar to, I know some universities and their career departments have things like career ambassadors or student ambassadors. So it's very similar to that. We also utilize the Career Connection system, as Aisha mentioned, and then of course your typical workshops, events. And then we have something we call the Purpose Plan, which I know some universities refer to as their 4-year checklist or their yearly checklist. On the ground operations side, which we'll have a video from one of our student services counselors here in a little bit, but when we refer to ground operations, it's both our university admissions counselors and our SSCs, we call them for short, and the SSCs are responsible for every student's academic and financial progression through their program, making sure everything is in line, that they graduate on time, and that they are going to hopefully leave without any kind of outstanding balances or anything like that. Student affairs houses for us at GCU, our student body government, our student engagement team, our residence life team, welcome programs, who oversees new student orientation and welcome week. And then we'll also talk about, we have our representative here from first year experience, or FYE, and then our living and learning communities. And then we also have Nita from our GCU library. And so we will be actually having some of them join us and speak live. So these will be our campus partners who are featured. These are our spotlights here for this program, from faculty training and development, Nita from the GCU library, those living and learning communities. From student affairs, we actually have a video from our parent and family programs coordinator, and then our video from our SSC, and then we'll share a little bit with you about how we've partnered with marketing as well. So with that, I'd actually like to turn it over to Georgette from our faculty training and development team.
Thank you, Merritt. Good morning, everyone. I am Georgette Gorman. I have been with GCU for 8 years now. 4 of those years have been with faculty training development, but also as an adjunct faculty member. I teach psychology courses here. So historically, when the reactive approach was being taken, I really had no involvement or even awareness of the work that was being done. I first heard about the proactive initiative during an interdepartmental leadership meeting, and I thought, I think I can help with this. Fast forward about a couple of months, and I started working on the Career Connections Committee. And I worked with Aisha a lot in developing our asynchronous online training for faculty. And that was really an exciting project and a fun collaboration. I really enjoyed working with Aisha on that. And I think we ended up with a good product. So since we've developed that product, what we've been doing is communicating out that training to faculty. We've done that through direct emails, Twitter. We now have a LinkedIn group, and we also have a fall conference coming up where that information is going to be shared. The neat thing about the training is it can be accessed right from faculty's learning management system class. They just go into the FRC, the Faculty Resource Center. They click on professional development, and they can access this on-demand training anytime they want. You can, yeah, there you go. And so this is the on-demand training that we're offering. It's broken out into 3 main sections. There is a section explaining to faculty their role. There's a section on what resources are available for students, and then the employer role. They're each depicted by different colors. And I think it's important for faculty to have this context, so wherever a student is in the process, they can help and champion that student forward. So we let faculty know what their role is in it so that they can perhaps modify their curriculum to support students and to encourage them in that career path. We give them resources for students, so if students ask them questions, they can speak intelligently about what they're being asked. And also the employer connections are important for them to have because they have a lot of connections as people in the field actively working. So it's important for them to have that information as well. So again, faculty can take this whenever they want. One nice feature about this on-demand training is it does take counts of how many people visit the site, and so far I think about 230 people have. But they can also take a quiz at the very end that gives them a certificate of completion, and it also records that in our database. And we can use that data to really inform us on our marketing strategies and how to communicate that information moving forward.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Georgette. We really, really appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
And all of your support and collaboration. All right, from there, I'd like to turn it over to Nita from the GCU Library.
Hello, everyone. I'm the Director of Library Services at GCU, and I'll just briefly kind of mention our role and libraries' roles and missions in every library is to connect people with resources. The ACE teams and SCI teams at GCU have been fabulous about giving us the resources that then we go cross-promote to students. We run an academic contact center in the library, so we offer on-demand research consultations and all advice and consultations regarding academic and career resources at the university. So we'll walk students through how to connect on our, what's previously been mentioned, the Career Connections app that they have access to, additional resources, how to book a lead at the ACE Center, how to find resume resources. We try to refer students to the right connection and the right resource with minimal transfer and, for the benefit of the student and that customer service experience that we have. I just had a couple examples on the slides here. One is just our marketing about our space and services in the library. That middle one that says finals focus was just an example of things that we've done to cross-promote the departments at certain times of year. We also do that. Again, we've cross-trained with the library teams and the librarians answering the phones about all of the different career resources that we have available to our students. And then I'll just briefly mention an example of kind of our collaborative environment that we have here at the university across all of our roles. Is our Student Success Center website. I'm co-chairing a committee with our student success teams about really streamlining access and discoverability for our students to find all of those career resources and academic resources that are available. So we're doing student focus groups. We're looking at the technology, how to filter better based on learning modality and student needs with that. So that's been an exciting role for me to work with all these wonderful people as I chair that committee to really make the content and the resources that they've developed really discoverable across all of our platforms, including the library platform. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Nita. And again, thank you for your time and your support and collaboration. So from there, I'm going to actually turn it over to Willie, who oversees our living and learning communities and our first year residence halls and our first year experience program.
Thank you, Merritt and Asia and Haley for having me today. Again, my name is William Lang. I'm in charge of student experience in the LLCs and first year experience. So a little bit about the LLCs, or the living and learning communities. We have 6 of them on campus, and the LLCs are really where students of the same major or program of study live in the same room or in the same hallway. And my team is in charge of programming, providing resources, and really connecting those students to campus events. And we get them accustomed to living in university and get those different resources. And once they kind of understand how to be a college student, then we pass them along to Merritt's team and get them set up from there. One of the events we actually had last year was for our honors and business LLC. We were actually able to invite Jerry Colangelo and do a presentation and meet and greet with him and those students. So again, it's just getting them connected to the different events, getting those students connected with the colleges and the ACE advisors and the internships and things like that. The other side of it is we have advising workshops, which are tailored to their major, so they can learn more about their major, what they need to do for that. We have the purpose plan. We have advisors that help them through that and check off the different things that they need to do. And they also have peer mentors. We have a student worker, or again, a lead. One of our student workers is in each of those LLCs. So we have, a peer mentor for each of those groups for those students to just get advice and again, help them get supported and transition into GCU and the university. So the other side of it is first year experience and early alert outreach. So one of the things our university does is we have this early alert system, which faculty submit a ticket on a student that they're concerned with. It usually regards grades, but it could be something else. Those tickets go to their student services counselor, but my team looks at those. We look at all the early alerts and we come up with a high priority list. We're usually looking at the first year courses, different subgroups of students, and then we go out and we provide outreach to them. We have different university stakeholders calling them and trying to get them that support that they need. So for example, if a student is in club sports soccer, we have the club sports soccer coach or the person in charge of club sports reaching that student and asking them, what they need to succeed in their course. We also have a dedicated first year experience advisor who helps them, again, get adjusted into college life, whether it be time management, study skills. It could be working on their purpose plan, getting their resume ready for a student worker job, or getting them ready for an internship, and then what they need to do to meet for the other ACE advisors. We also have FYE leads that help with them in that same manner. Again, time management, study skills, really with that purpose of helping them transition into college life, and then as they get ready and to do what they need to do for the career side of it. And the last piece is just working with the purpose plan, coaching in those conversations, having them revisit that. It's in one of the first classes that they take called University Success, but then we revisit that throughout the year within different workshops or different events so that they can, again, revisit that and see what they need to do as they move forward.
Awesome. Thank you, Willie. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. So we did have a couple of more campus partners we wanted to highlight as well who couldn't be here during this presentation time. So we have a couple of videos, and hopefully I learned my Zoom lessons so that the audio comes through for you. But this video is from Robin, and she is under our Welcome Programs team in Student Affairs, and she is the Parent and Family Programs Coordinator.
Hi, my name is Robin Horde, and I'm the Parent and Family Programs Coordinator at Grand Canyon University. I am passionate about my role as I help to facilitate one of the most important partnerships the university has. Its partnership with parents. I help parents navigate parenting a college student with resources, information, and ways that they themselves can be involved on campus as part of our extended Lopes family. GCU is a very special place with an incredible culture and community where everybody truly is family. But students ultimately attend GCU to receive an education in order to pursue a career, so one of the most important partnerships I have on campus is with our Academic and Career Excellence Center, also known as ACE. Each month, our families receive a Lope Family newsletter, and ACE has been a regular contributor of information and reminders about resources available in Career Connections. This allows our parents and family members to be equipped with the knowledge of the opportunities GCU has to offer their students. Working together as one big family, mom, dad, and GCU will only help our students become that much more successful in achieving their purpose. Lopes up!
So that was just a little bit of fun. So Robin is really instrumental in our big move-in. Every fall when our new students are moving on campus, obviously this fall might look a little bit different, but she's always running around on those rollerblades, or roller skates, I guess, technically. And so we wanted to include a little bit of fun there. She's very talented, can do all kinds of spins and go backwards and all that kind of fun stuff. But she is a great light on campus for us as well.
Hi, my name is...
One more video for you. This is Ricky from our Student Services Counselor team. And so he works with students. Their goal is to meet with students every semester to make sure they're on track both academically and financially.
Hey, my name is Ricky Whitehead, and I'm a student services counselor with Grand Canyon Education, which is partnered up with GCU. And what my role is as a student services counselor is to not only be the middleman between the student and the other departments on campus, but also between who the student is as a freshman and who they want to become by the time they graduate. And one thing that we've done over the last year, or one thing that we've incorporated to better ensure that that happens is, one, the early alert process, which is, let's say a student, gets to campus, gets caught up in the campus life, and the grade starts to slip. In that first year, those first few weeks are very important. So not only is the student's professor going to reach out, but the professor will notify us as well as other departments on campus so that, many departments can reach out and kind of be a helping hand to that student and help them get back on track. The second thing we've done to ensure the student gets to where they want to be by graduation is implementing career-oriented questions in the biannual, or once a semester meetings that SSEs have with students. Questions like, what do you see yourself doing with your degree after school? Is there a minor that you feel like could partner well? And another thing that I personally recommend is, have the students start looking at jobs as freshmen. Start looking at the skill sets, start looking at the requirements for their dream job or their position, and then work backwards. See what clubs are here at GCU, see what minors, see what internships are out there that can help them get to where they want to be when they walk across stage.
Awesome. So what's really fun about Ricky as well is back in the day when Aisha and I were in career services, we used to do new student worker orientation. So anytime one of our GCU students got a student worker job on campus, they had to go through orientation through our office. And back in the day, Ricky was actually in that orientation, one of the sessions I ran. So it's so excited to see him now as a full-time employee at GCU. All right, so now I'm going to turn it over to Aisha again. She's really been instrumental in our partnership with our marketing department to make sure that all of this effort, the career development offerings, the workshops, all the career events and info sessions are communicated out to our students and to our faculty and staff across GCU. So Aisha, go ahead and take it away.
Absolutely. Thanks, Merritt. As we mentioned earlier, we were providing career resources when we were asked for it. We didn't necessarily go out and market our services. So through the help of Grand Canyon Education, who provides our support services for GCU, we've been able to really start creating effective marketing campaigns to students. So we work with a marketing project coordinator that helps us develop creative print material, so flyers and brochures. They put together interactive campus digital displays on our TV monitors across campus to promote our various events and offerings. We have slides during our chapel services, event pages on our websites, along with social media posts. We're building video testimonials. We have email campaigns going to our recent graduates as well as our current students. They are also helping us specifically for our department to build out a really nice interactive and engaging website. So if you see the next slide, you can see some samples of some of the marketing pieces that have been developed for us. And they're, you know, I'm terrible at design. Anybody that knows me knows that I cannot design. So we're so appreciative for what our marketing team has been able to create for us. And they often do it with a very small window of turnaround time. Because we do have, you know, when we were having campus events, we would average between 20 and 30, sometimes more events per month. So being able to, you know, have effective campaigns built around all of those events was really instrumental. Next slide. Additional campus partners who have been really key for us has been our event services team. So we have, you know, our facilities here on campus. They're primarily, we have our classrooms, which are, you know, primarily for the student coursework, and our buildings, things along that line. So our event services team makes sure that we're able to get spaces. They work with facilities, they work with public safety, you know, all of those pieces to make sure that when we have events, our employers can park. We have, you know, everything's clean, everything's put together. If we have any type of catering needs, they handle all of those pieces for us and really help us execute, you know, well-coordinated events. Our help desk team does a few things for us. One of the big pieces is for our Simplicity tool, which we call Career Connections. They actually have, they're able to help students that are having any type of issues logging into the system. So they actually have a spot on our student site where the students can go and get any Career Connections help that they need getting into the system and being able to download that widget, which is what we call it, into their student portal. We also partner with our GCU Today team, which is our public relations team, and we have a lot of articles in regards to different events that we have and services that we offer. We also have a newsletter. Most recently, we had our newsletter in April that was really around the career culture that has been built these last couple of years at GCU, how we are, you know, furthering on that career services foundation that we've had here at the university, and what we're doing to, you know, bring even more innovation to Grand Canyon University. We also partner with our employee learning and development team, who make sure some of our, as you see, one of our flyers here for some of our virtual offerings, that gets actually posted on our intranet for GCU as well as GCE employees, so they can see what's happening for our students, and any student that they may have engagement with, they're able to share those offerings. Our enrollment team has been really instrumental as well in coming out to events and helping us. Sometimes they'll even sit at a check-in station to help students get checked into events. They're providing swag for students, in addition to sharing any of our upper level GCU master's courses with students. Even our mailroom gets involved, making sure that, you know, packages that employers may send to us are getting to our events, and then they're getting back to those employers. So there's a lot that really contributes to us being able to provide the services that we provide for our students here. A lot of individuals who are involved, and it hadn't been that way previously. So we're extremely grateful. We're extremely lucky to be able to work with a group of individuals across this university who are committed to our students' success.
Awesome, thank you, Aisha. I know a lot of us have had to make some kind of pivot due to the pandemic. So we thought it might be helpful to just highlight some of the things we've done so far. So on the A side, we were actually fortunate enough to transition a good chunk of our student workers to be able to work from home. So we actually wrapped up the spring semester with our student workers working from home. And then typically we have a lower number working from home or working over the summer anyway. So it is a smaller number who have continued to work from home over the summer, but just really thankful for that opportunity because we are a pretty reliant department on our student workers based on the fact that we have so much peer-to-peer support. So that's both academic and career support. We also created student-facing video tutorials for navigating those virtual career fairs that are offered through that Simplicity system, or what we call Career Connections. We were able to transition our in-person workshops to virtual offerings, and then again target the how to really harness and adjust to and adapt to the COVID-19 pandemic and how that's impacting the job search, and trying to make sure we're educating our students to be as successful as possible during this interesting time for them. And then really focusing a lot on our social media campaign and using that platform to educate our students on the virtual career events, the opportunities and the resources available to them so they can be successful during those events. And then Aisha can speak to SEI and the additional partners.
Yep, we've as well transitioned our student workers to be able to work from home, and there's a really engaging presentation that will be performed by Merit and a couple individuals from SCI tomorrow on some of the ways that we've helped our student workers be successful in that environment. Again, utilizing Career Connections to offer virtual career fairs, partnering with employers to provide those information sessions, also transitioning our companies on campus to what we now call companies on Career Connections, so they can have an electronic spotlight and students still be able to learn more about those various employers. Our team within SCI, we have some team members who have created really engaging employer-facing tutorials and trainings to help our employers get comfortable with virtual career fairs as well as virtual information sessions. And they're also connecting with those employers to learn about their industry, who's hiring, who still has opportunity. So they're creating those surveys and launching those to those employers. We continue to partner with ACE as well as across the university, to educate our leadership, faculty, staff about our virtual capabilities. GCU Today and our marketing team has been really instrumental in that. Our GCU Today partnership as well as our marketing groups have really published and publicized a lot of the work that we've been able to do, a lot of the changes that we've made in the pivot. Nita's already spoke about how GCU Library has continued to post that virtual support information. We also have our student affairs group through our parent and family programs who has been marketing what we offer to parents, as well as our alumni relations group who are connecting with our recent alumni to let them know that, with everything happening with COVID-19, we're still here to assist students in the virtual capacity.
All right, thank you, Aisha. Now I know we only have a couple of minutes left before we can open it up to questions, so we can just talk a little bit about the next steps we're taking. We are still learning in all of this process. This is all very new, as we've mentioned a few times to us, in terms of this university-wide initiative and the different approach we're taking toward student career development. And so we're still trying to learn how to really engage our students. And so we are going to be focusing this fall on different ways of interacting and engaging with them via social media, different tabling and event promotion. So really trying to figure out what is going to hit home for these students and making sure they're excited about these opportunities and engaging with employers, so we can make sure that connection happens, as they were talking about in that kind of opening session about how can we make sure those interactions are taking place between the employers and the students. We'll also be focusing on those purpose plans, which are those yearly checklists, and incorporating those into the SSC appointments that are happening each semester, as Ricky alluded to. We'll be digging into employer trends, hiring trends, and how to keep those relationships strong in this virtual environment through surveys, panel discussions, and relationship building. Continuing deeper conversations via this new career committee. We did have that first meeting last week. We'll be meeting monthly, and these are key stakeholders across the university, making sure that everybody is helping our students move in the same direction, and then working with training and development, as Georgette alluded to, especially in that fall faculty conference coming up. So with that, we'd like to open it up to questions. I know the chat box was in the way, so I did close it. It looks like we need to go back and look at some of these questions. Let's see. Actually, it looks like we might be good. Justin, I'm so sorry, I was ignoring you because I closed the chat box. Does anybody have any questions, suggestions, anything we can, that might be helpful for everybody to discuss so we can all kind of work better to support our students in this interesting time?
Yeah, at this time, if folks would like to use your chat function, you could submit something, or you're also able to unmute yourself if you'd like to take the mic to ask a question. That would be fine too. I believe this is the end of the presentation, so this is just open discussion now, and we'll remain we'll keep this room open until the top of the hour.
All right, thank you. So it looks like we have a question from Beverly. What kind of support did you have from top university leadership in your transition to the new model? In all honesty, it came from the top. So it's been really exciting, especially having been here for as long as I have and seeing kind of these different stages. So from my perspective, it's been really exciting. So I report up through a division called Student Success. So I report to Dr. Joe Veras, the VP of Student Success, as does Haley. And then from there, we have these different focus areas on student development and student success and resources and services provided to them. And it does also involve a K-12 initiative where we provide free tutoring and academic support to the K-12 environment. But it's been really exciting just seeing all of this emphasis and focus around how can we make sure our students are getting career ready by the time we graduate. So it really started, at least in my engagement with it, in the summer of 2018, when we first started having some interdepartmental and cross-collaboration meetings to discuss how do we make sure we have students get really valuable experience while they're still here at GCU? So how can we make sure they get either a strategically aligned student worker position or research or volunteer experience or an internship, whatever it might be, to help them at least get something on their resume that's going to help them be a competitive applicant once that time comes. And then really it's expanded from there. It's been exciting to watch, messaging from our provost, from our VPs, executive teams, academic leadership teams, really getting on board to say, how can we make sure, yes, we're helping these students and we're offering them the opportunity to earn a degree, but also how can we make sure that along the way, they're taking those critical career development steps throughout the curriculum or co-curricular activities, or seeking those student support services to make sure we're all pushing these students in the right direction. So that's what I've experienced from my perspective. Haley or Aisha, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, so no, thank you. I think that it's tremendous and we're blessed at GCU. Our president, Brian Mueller, has really always been about students and being able to achieve their goals. And our provost, Dr. Hank Rada, he is one who thinks very systematically about our approach and how do we all collaborate together. And they have been very big champions in our corner to help set the tone and the vision, to help us be all able to all come together to work together even better and to serve our students. So we have been blessed that we have this interest as far as the collaboration and leadership support, and then all the other leaders that have come alongside to rally the troops. So it's been a great experience.
And one thing that I'll add, Haley mentioned our provost, Dr. Rada. Dr. Rada has been really passionate about ensuring that our faculty play a really key role in everything that we do, because our faculty, have such a connection with our students. So all the work that Georgette and the individuals over in faculty training and development have done has been extremely instrumental in helping us to share out with faculty everything that's going on. We've had a faculty committee to learn how we can better get our simplicity system in front of our students, as well as making sure that our faculty are aware of the capabilities of the system. So again, that's been a lot of work, a lot of push from our university leadership, our provost, and making sure again that our faculty play a really key role in everything that we're doing. So we're grateful. And you can see this, the collaboration today, it just makes my heart so happy, you know, that our library director is here, Georgette is here, you know, one of our faculty chairs, Willie, is here, and individuals, you know, Ricky and Robin, who submitted videos, and everybody jumped at the chance to be a part. It wasn't a hesitation at all. It was, how can I help? How can I be engaged? How can I be involved?
Awesome. Thank you both, Aisha and Haley. Let's see, it looks like we have another question. Do you have any recommendations for community colleges with limited financial resources and staff on how to begin moving from reactive to proactive model? We have 3 full-time academic and career advisors who handle all academic and career advising for the college. Yes, Carolyn, so myself as the Director of Academic and Career Excellence, or ACE, I actually have 3 full-time ACE advisors and 1 full-time FYE advisor. So again, not a huge team. We're small but mighty. And so we're really leveraging technology and really trying to leverage the system we have, that Career Connections or Simplicity system, which thankfully that is something our university has chosen to invest in. But I know there are other options. I know there are different modules you can purchase. So if you aren't able to purchase the entire system, you can purchase parts of it. But we've really looked at that to help us automate, how do we know where our students are? How do we know who has engaged with us and who hasn't? How do we know who needs to be outreached to, who needs support, who is interested in getting support, those different pieces. And really, you know, let's see, that was 2013 to 2017-ish is when I was an advisor, and we really sat in the back of campus and waited for students to come to us. And where I think we're making huge strides now is being proactive and really using that system to understand, who do we need to send an email to? Who do we need to make a phone call to? And instead of waiting for them to come to us, actively reaching out and making sure these students are aware of these resources. And we still have a lot to learn and trying to make sure our students are understanding the value of being engaged in these different opportunities now. But we're definitely starting to move the needle or start tipping in the right direction. So I would recommend, at least from my perspective, trying to incorporate more of the career conversations in whatever appointments are taking place with those academic and career advisors, and making sure that we can, you know, try and get them connected with different opportunities. I don't know if you have employer engagement that's taking place or events that are taking place, but I know there are a lot of wonderful community events going on in all different kinds of areas. So making sure your team is aware of those different events, even if you're not putting them on, making sure that they're aware of those other things that are taking place in the community, and being that kind of go-between to make sure those students are educated and engaged in those opportunities, and you can start trying to push them there as well. Haley and Aisha, do you have anything else you might be able to add?
Yeah, so I would add, you know, as my work, I partner often with many folks within the Maricopa Community College system, but what we are all challenged by, I think, are resources. But what I've learned from everybody is that if you start from a connection point and really from a system standpoint, to try to manage your workflow. And so if you do, I would encourage you to investigate, you know, what type of technology resources, platforms, if you use Handshake, Simplicity, there's other things, to see how you could build it to be a unified system to help you prioritize and triage your work, because there's never enough people, for sure, for the amount of work. But we would not probably be here today if we did not have that centralized focus and connection point with a system and technology that can help manage our workflow. So I would encourage you, and you know, I've talked with different directors. Some people also within Arizona are also working on Pipeline AZ platform for connecting job seekers to employers. And so I would just encourage you to learn more and see how you might be able to maximize those different resources.
I'll give my not career expertise view from the library. I've been here 10 years on campus. The historical approach that they've mentioned was this wide cast, large events, and I would argue that that type of traditional model is a lot of work. It's a ton of work. And so if you dismantle and attack the work model a little bit differently, it seems like, well, what they're presenting here, it may be more work, but I would argue that it's different work. And so it allows all of us to be more nimble in this approach, to get it in front of the faculty, in the curriculum, in our library conversations. And so it allows that volume of work to be spread across a lot of the departments and allow all of us to be career champions in that. So I would argue that the transition may be more work initially there, but then I think bringing in other partners and allowing other folks to be your champions can lessen and help your workflow.
Great, thank you, Nita, appreciate that. Wonderful. Any other questions or ideas or feedback too? We're open to anything. All right, well, I'm happy to hang out for a few more minutes. Otherwise, thank you everyone so much for your time and for engaging with us here. And if you'd like to discuss anything further, please feel free to reach out. Our email is there at the bottom. And just thank you again for all the work you're doing to support the students across the state of Arizona.
Yes, thank you. On behalf of the University of Arizona and the Arizona Statewide Career Conference Planning Committee, we would like to thank our friends from GCU for their presentation today. And yeah, we'll keep the room open for a couple more minutes and look forward to seeing you all again in some of tomorrow's sessions. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.